we've been known as the pioneer of the backpacks, as they used to call us, and the bonding technology. But we are far more than that. I mean, LiveU over the years and more than 16 years, and especially right now, we introduce our newest LiveU ecosystem. We are talking about the entire workflow, starting all the way from contribution to production and distribution. So right now, LiveU provides solutions, and you mentioned over cloud and on-premise for the entire workflow. And each part of that workflow, we have various solutions that we either develop ourselves or we are providing integration for broadcasters to help to use their own devices and own gear to integrate with the ecosystem to provide a smooth operation of the video across the entire workflow. Yes, LiveU has been part of Tier 1 big sports events, I think, from its inception. Actually, LiveU started back in 2008 on the Beijing Olympics, when we started working with NBC on the first marathon. This was actually the first broadcast that we did. And since then, I think there is no single Tier 1 sporting event that we missed since then, talking about Olympics or talking about World Cups and also Tier 2. Sports is a big growth engine for LiveU, and it's interesting to see there's Women's World Cup, which forecast to reach about 2 billion viewers worldwide. It's almost nearly a quarter of the global population, and we are taking great pride in being part of that.
I guess in the context of the Women's World Cup, what are the services that you're going to be offering rights holders and I guess also the non-rights holders who might be in the country to report on it?
Yeah, so obviously we will support our local broadcasters both in Australia and New Zealand. And you mentioned yesterday visits to the control room where you see the live screensaver. Yeah, we will definitely do that. And we will definitely support our international broadcasters and quite a lot of them that are coming over to the region to cover the games. We will provide them with our best production units, the LiveU over 5G. We will support them 24/7 support, on-site support, using our trusted, the newly establishment of LiveU Pacific in Australia and the newly appointed TVT partner in New Zealand to support those that will be traveling to the island. And we will give them tailored packages. And again, it's not just about the units. We will provide them units with additional production services, such as Audio Connect and Data Bridge to provide them connectivity to the internet, and LiveU Matrix, which is our distribution platform, to take the signal from one place and distribute it all over the world, replacing conventional satellite and fiber. And obviously unlimited data, which we've been covering, which we provided all over the world. So I think it's a mix of on-site services, our units, production services, and distribution methods to help the broadcasters. And there are quite a lot of big names that are making their way over to the start of the games. And we are looking forward, as always, to support them. We have a dedicated team that is traveling to Australia and New Zealand to be on site, as I said, 24/7.
And you mentioned 5G, but it's not exclusively 5G, is it? I mean, because I guess Australia and New Zealand are still in the midst of 5G rollout.
Exactly. I mean, we obviously, when available, we will provide them with 5G, fall back to 4G. The units knows to handle it automatically. We'll try to take advantage as much as possible for the best network opportunities that we have. By the way, in sports, we are doing a lot of testing all over Europe and in other places where when we work in partnership with a cellular carrier to start and using the 5G slicing to provide, especially for sports events, with I think will be one of the major customers of this technology, to allow them actually really replace satellite and fiber even in tier one production. This is not the case in this time, but whenever possible, the units are fully capable to transmit over 5G and will give our customers the capability to do so.
Now, I do recall from the World Cup in Qatar, there were a lot of big numbers from your side. So this time, how many people, how many units? What are you anticipating? So
you're right. These are not the numbers of the World Cup. Obviously, I mean it's not a magnitude, and I wouldn't say unfortunately, but it's a bit further away to travel. But we do know we're talking about tenth of units, that international one. If you add on top of that the local units that will be used both in Australia and both in New Zealand, we're talking about I think at least over 100 units that will be in use during the games. I'll be honest with you. Some of our clients actually traveling with their units. There is a mix of units that we provide on site for customers who are just traveling, just the crew with the camera, and we provide them the units. Some teams are traveling with the units itself, and sometimes we are not completely aware until something happens, hopefully nothing will do. But we are anticipate not the same numbers that we had in Qatar, but we see significant numbers, and orders are still coming. In Qatar, we also used, some of the teams actually used LiveU to cover their own. The Australian team, for example, used the LiveU units to cover it. So I guess that in the period that from now until the 23rd, when the tournament starts, we'll see a lot of increase right now, because I think there is a lot of anticipation and I think good public relations for the women's sports that is all over the world, and I think that we'll see a growing number of units coming over to the region.
What sort of lessons or trends that came out of the Qatar World Cup that might apply to what's happening here?
I think the main thing, and LiveU always take pride, is the on-site support. I mean, teams are coming to places they are not used to. A lot of them, it's the first time that they're traveling with the cameramen and the teams, and they need to know that there is a trusted partner out there to support them with spare batteries, or they need a cable, and when you provide them a 24/7, we provide them an on-site headquarter. They can come any time of day and they take anything. This is, I think, the first lesson that we learned from any big sporting competition that takes place over. I think also providing them with, this is a great place to take your beauty shot. This is a great place where you have great reception. So I think when we are on field and we gathering all the information from all around, then we know, because we have teams on the ground from previous, we know exactly to guide them, where to go, what are the options for them to do the stand up, or like I said, to do the beauty shop. So I think that the on-site support, I would say this is the biggest lesson that we took from previous. We know the technology work. We have a trusted way to prove it to them. They know. I think the main thing is to help them locally to do the job that they were sent to do.
So you're not only helping get the video back to where it needs to go, you're actually doing the producer's job as well.
We are not providing those services, producing services, but we do give them production ways. And I think, and like I said, because in some cases they will come and say, hey, I need to forward this this signal from here to there. So kind of an ad hoc, providing them with matrix services. pairing units. A photographer from one place would like to do a pool for another. So I think those kind of things that we have this cloud services and cloud control, the management, the LiveU Central, which is a management platform, give you access to all the units. We can help them remotely. Yeah, and something to mention. LiveU is not only part of what we call the fan engagement. We are also involved with the technical aspects of the game, and we are helping to do analysis of the performance of various aspects during the game itself, whether we do it locally or whether we do it remotely. It's interesting to see, and we did that in Qatar as well. It's much more than just units on the ground that help provide the colorful aspects of the tournament, but we also really involved in some very high level technical aspects of the game. And that's something that we've seen more and more in recent tournament, and obviously Qatar was a great experience for us, and now we see that also in this tournament.
All right, well, thanks very much for talking with us.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure always.